Rhythm games. Games where you have to press the button or step on the arrow to a predetermined chart that follows the rhythm of a song. In the mid to late 2000s, most arcades had at least a DDR and or Guitar Hero machine. People just couldn't get enough of stepping arrows and pressing buttons. Unfortunately though, in the early 2010s, rhythm games in America would fall into obscurity. Despite this, these games today have fairly small but very loyal fan bases who spend a lot of money and time each year to play their favorite games. Games like In the Groove, Pump It Up, Guitar Hero and Clone Hero, and most if not all active Diwanee games have groups of people that provide information online for their games that can be accessed to many people. The games we're talking about today, however, have no such fan base. This is a game that led me down a rabbit hole to the strange world of forgotten rhythm games from the 90s. I'm going to tell you about the company Jaleco and their game VJ, Visual and Music Slap. If you are familiar with the game Beatmania, this game will look very familiar. There are 6 buttons that you press when the corresponding button on the screen goes to the judgment line, as well as this turntable joystick hybrid. It turns like a knob, but it also moves like a joystick. I'm guessing the developers were just out of ideas to make it at least somewhat indivisible from Beatmania, but I digress. Anyways, when the red note comes down, you either spin it, move it, or do freestyle, which just means jitter it around or spin it however you want. That's pretty much the entire gameplay. Obviously, because of the weird joystick turntable, it can't be played on a normal Beatmania machine like how ITG can be played on a DDR machine. So this is the machine for VJ, Visual, and Music Slap. And the first thing you probably noticed is the 3 TVs on the top. Want to know what these do? Nothing. They do nothing. They don't add anything to the game. They don't show anything important to the gameplay. They're just there for the background videos. The only way it correlates to the gameplay is that the video changes when you score good. Also, this was 1999, so it's not like CRTs are like obsolete and as cheap as they are today. Imagine being an arcade worker, having to not only pay the price for 4 CRTs, but having to maintain all of them at the same time, or else the game won't work. It would make sense to have like 1 extra CRT, like how Beatstream and Nostalgia Cabinets have a second monitor to like entice viewers, I guess. Even then, I still don't get the appeal of that. But I guess 1 TV just wasn't gaudy enough for Jaleco. Now that I just mentioned Jaleco, might as well move on to the next section. How I found out about this whole rabbit hole is when I was looking at a rhythm game related tweet. Someone said something about some VJ thing. It was obviously not talking about this because I think it was talking about like Groove Coaster or Sound Voltex, but I had no idea what the acronym meant, so I looked up VJ Rhythm Game. And I found this Xenius Eye Vanisher page. And in case if you guys don't know, ZIV, which is what I'm going to call it for now, it's just a rhythm game forum. In this post, someone describes a game called VJ Visual and Music Slap. The post reads, "How come there hasn't been a thread about this yet? It's basically a rhythm game by Jaleco that uses 4 monitors. 1 for the game itself, and 3 linked ones that are mainly for showing a music video. One feature of the note is that there are 2 video choices, called visuals, for each stage in the game. Before a stage, you select between one visual or the other, and visuals have their own name. It's quite an interesting game. It looked quite impressive for 1999. Unfortunately, it's now quite obscure. I couldn't find news of a second game, and I could only find 1 very low gameplay video."
Are you ready to get down?
VJ, music, Jaleco.
DJ, MTV.
MTV, what?
Yeah, styling on a Friday night.
Why not? West Side representing.
Fascinating lady.
Yeah.
Easy.
In here we
The
go.
video playing right now is that video. But luckily, 19 years later, we would get a new video, which is the video I was playing previously. At the time of recording this, these are the only 2 existing videos of this game. If you want to count on a technicality, there's 4, but it's only 1 video split up into 3 parts, and some of them are only a few seconds long, and there's an extended version that mashes them all together. Luckily, this ZIV post not only shows us an ad of the game, but it shows the publisher too, Jaleco. This is a company, upon hearing about this game, I had never heard of. It felt similar, but In the end, I actually never knew it existed. So yeah, this was pretty much a company I never heard of, and I can't really blame myself. This company seemed to be mainly in the Japanese market when it came to video games. I looked up the company and I dug deeper into the rabbit hole. Here's what I found. Jaleco was a Japanese game company that was formed in 1974 and disbanded in 2014. One of their games, Ninja Jaja Maru-kun, is actually in the top 100 best-selling NES games overall, but from what I've researched, most of their other games were fairly mediocre, with only a few other hits. Most of the games don't even have Wikipedia pages, which is pretty weird, but I'm not too surprised about it. Looking through this wiki page, I found that there's another VJ game, though I can't find any info on it. I also found more Jaleco rhythm games to shed some light on this video. Also, none of these have Wikipedia pages. I just kind of cherry-picked these from websites I found, so I'm sorry if there's missing information. One game that's a bit more documented than VJ is a game called Stepping Stage, which is a DDR clone. Also, pause real quick. Is it just me, or do those bars look like the most uncomfortable pieces of shit ever? I've heard people complain about how DDR bars are too slim, or like they're a bit too thin for people to hold on to, but not even I can hold on to that. Like, the DDR bars compared to this, it's not even a competition. It's like one of those videos of bodybuilders trying to get a sticky note off their back, where they like can't reach it because of their biceps. That's what this is like. Except that's for everyone. That's for everyone that plays this game. Unless if you're just, for some reason, just so slim where you can just be like, oh, okay. Or otherwise, you just have to play like, it feels like handcuffs. You're like being cuffed. So if you want to do like a live action role play by yourself of being handcuffed, then play Stepping Stage, I guess. Why did I say that line? I'm instantly regretting that shit. Moving along, it is obviously a DDR clone, and it has the same unnecessary CRT issue VJ does. There is one CRT for each player, and the middle is a CRT that is used for, you guessed it, the background video. Does Jaleco just have an endless supply of CRTs? Like, have they found a dupe glitch? Also, the game is absolute garbage. Who saw that one coming? This one's kind of a weird one because it's a bit original, but it's also kind of a knockoff of two Bimani games, Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania. Jaleco was thinking of ways to rip off popular games for profit, as always. They decided, what if you played the guitar and the keyboard at the same time? So then we got Rock and Tread. I would show a video of someone playing the game on an actual cabinet, but I can only find like MAME emulator footage. Speaking of the cabinet, it looks like it just has 3 buttons and a pedal to stomp on. So not really playing the guitar and drums, but the icons of the game do show drums and a guitar, so whatever. I'd say this is the most original rhythm game I'm going to talk about today, as I haven't really seen something super like this. But the reason for that is the gameplay is kind of weird. It's like Citus and how a line goes down and up and the notes stay in place, but Citus works because it's on a touchscreen. One thing I do like about the game though is the little characters on the bottom that react if you hit or miss. Though, where have I seen that before? I guess I forgot. This one is hands down the most obscure out of all of them. This is the only picture of the arcade machine I can find. I can find plenty of scans of the box art for the PS2 port, but not the machine at all. Hi, it's me editing this video. Turns out there's no videos either. I couldn't find a single gameplay video, no matter if it was 2 seconds or a minute or like 30 minutes. At least not on YouTube or Google I could find any videos of this game. That's how obscure it is. So this is pretty much a karaoke game. That's all there is to it. The PS2 version of the first game has a cutting room floor page, and the first sentence says, "Microphones for karaoke? Who even needs those when you can just use the controller buttons?" I might be misunderstanding this, but if I'm not, the microphone that came with this game converts your microphone into button inputs. Oh my god. I'm assuming the reason why these games are so rare is that, one, it was made by a small company. Jaleco, despite having a few hits on the Famicom, never really had a huge breakthrough, compared to Konami, who in the 90s started creating popular video games like Metal Gear Solid and started getting a lot of money. Two, these games weren't really original. Beatmania, DDR, Poppin' Music, at the time of their creation, were very unique and brought something to the Japanese arcade scene. These Jaleco games, on the other hand, weren't very unique. Why play these strange knockoffs when there's original games that have way better mechanics? 3. These games weren't really good. VJ is just a worse version of Beatmania. Stepping Stage is a worse version of DDR. Rock and Tread is original because no one else would want to make a game like it. And Dream Audition does not sound good from how the game handles inputs. Why play these games instead of Beatmania, DDR, or any other Beatmania game at the time? Or just a normal karaoke machine? 4. I don't know the validity of this, but according to the ZIV post, Konami apparently refused Beatmania upgrade kits to arcades who own VJ. So that's probably why it's so rare now, because arcades just threw them out. Alright, and that concludes this video discussing all of this. This was super fun to research, and I had a lot of fun recording. So if you want to see more rhythm game related video essays, or you just want to see more commentary in general or video essays like this, be sure to like and be sure to tell me in the comments because I will definitely see it. Alright, that is all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.